there seems to be no end to price hike in Karnataka. Just 7 days after the Karnataka government announced a 15% hike in bus fare, the State Road Transport Corporation has now announced a hike in the fares of contract carriages. The transport body has hiked the charges by 7 rupees per kilometre. The Karnataka State Road Transport Corporation has provided buses on a contract basis for pilgrimages, political rallies, marriages and also other activities. Earlier, remember, the charges were 47 rupees per kilometre, but now, after the 7 rupee hike, the travellers will have to shell out 54 rupees per kilometre. Now, as per the Karnataka State Road Transport Corporation, also known as KSRTC, that circular which has been accessed by Times Now, the revised changes come into effect from January 8th, that is yesterday. Any services availed within the state would now be costing 54 rupees kilometre when we speak about these particular services compared to 47 rupees earlier. Charges for services outside Karnataka for these buses would now cost 57 rupees for a kilometre against the earlier price of 50 rupees a kilometre. Let's also tell you, viewers, first of all, let's put things in perspective. Let's tell you what exactly are contract bus services. The State Road Transport Corporation, viewers, has provided bus services to public on a contract basis. The service is usually availed when a large group of travellers travel to a common destination. These services are quite popular in the state and they are usually used for pilgrimages, political rallies and also marriages. Now that we have a context into the same, let's further understand what exactly this price hike is, which has happened in Karnataka. Deepak is joining us live on the broadcast. Deepak, it looks like, the price hikes are continuing in the state of Karnataka. 7 days after we saw a 15% hike in bus fare, now it looks like that the KSRTC has announced another hike when we speak of fares on contract carriages. Can you give us more details on the same?
Well, with the, KSRTC, basically all the road transport corporations in Karnataka increasing the bus fares a few days ago, this was something that was on the cards. Now, KSRTC, of course, makes a lot of revenue through the carriage service that they provide. Basically, how we have private players who provide, their buses or tempo travelers for, various needs such as picnics, tours and travels, apart from that for pilgrimage and even political rallies. Here, the Road Transport Corporation in Karnataka also does the same, and it gives them, a lot of business through the course of the year. Now, the bus fares were increased, citing, of course, operational costs and the prices of, fuel that has increased very recently. And now they've increased the carriage, cost as well. Here, at least about 6 to 7 rupees increase per kilometer that we're looking at. And usually, the services in carriage, runs up to several kilometers because it's never used for short trips, primarily used for longer trips, not just
right. Deepak, apologies, I'm interrupting you. We also have Mohan Krishna of the BJP who's joining us on the phone line. Morning, sir. Thank you for joining us on Times Now. What will you say, sir, about this latest price hike which seemed to have happened in the state of Karnataka? A few days ago, we saw the government announcing a hike when we speak of bus fares, and now a hike has been announced on the fare of contract carriages. How do you respond, sir?
Very good morning. This government has gone corrupt and bankrupt, everything, whatever you can say, from progressive state to regressive state. Today, we are facing several problems. Amenities have been not given, and they are not able to generate the tax collections which were to be collected as per the target given by the Chief Minister of Karnataka. In the recent meetings, it has been evident that it is evident absolutely that this government has gone bankrupt, and they are looking at every opportunity of putting taxes and hiking the fares. And in very soon now, we will see the electricity charges will be hiked. Then water charges will be high, and there is no collection of taxes from anywhere except liquor. So this bankrupt government has got only opportunity to fulfill their guarantees, and they are providing a tax regime of Karnataka, and where all the states in the country are progressing with a lot of reformations, lot of social reforms, and everything in a right manner. This bankrupt government, Siddaramaiah government, immersed in corruption, has to take money from the people and run these guarantees. That is what is the situation in Karnataka.
Right, but sir, in such cases, the standard response from the Karnataka government, even the Karnataka Congress, more or less has always been that these hikes are owing to inflation, that these costs have not been increased in a long time. There is inflation, and the government departments cannot run in losses. Do you buy this argument by the state government, sir?
Look, the GDP of Karnataka, which was around 14%, when Mr. Bommai was the Chief Minister of Karnataka and BJP was in power, we were in the range of 12 to 14% GDP, which was 4 to 5% higher than the national average of GDP. And per capita income was to the extent of 1.34 lakhs per person in Karnataka. And the inflation rate was the lowest in Karnataka. And we have managed, even during the COVID time, we have not hiked the prices of any facilities or amenities for the people of the Karnataka, despite the fiscal deficit going up to 4%. Even today, the fiscal deficit has gone to 4.2% now, which is above the national average, and the collections of the revenues from the registration of properties and everything has gone standstill. And there is no infrastructure development in Karnataka from past 2 years almost now. Where do the people go? How do they manage it? They have lot of DPRs, everything, as you have seen in the newspapers.
But are you suggesting, sir, are you suggesting that this is a direct fallout of Congress guarantees? Is that what you're suggesting?
Is there any doubt for you? Is there any doubt for the people of the Karnataka? They are cursing this government. They are cursing this government. Why do we give 136 seats to Congress? That is what is the people of Karnataka are cursing themselves. That is the situation in Karnataka. See, the same in Himachal Pradesh, the guarantees have made the government to take drastic steps for taxing even toilets. The same way Karnataka, Mr. Siddaramaiah, in the last 2-3 days, had the meetings with all the officials. From the sources of the senior IAS officers in Karnataka, I have got the information. There is no money left. There is no money left.
So you're saying it's a direct fallout of the guarantees. There's no money left in the coffers and the government has no option, as the BJP claims, but to burden the people of Karnataka. Thank you, sir, for joining us on the broadcast. Deepak, I'll come back to you. Apologies, I had to interrupt you earlier. You were telling us through exactly what is this hike, how does this exactly affect the Aam Aadmi of Karnataka, and you also heard, I'm sure, what the BJP had to say. Politics has begun already on this hike, which has been announced by the KSRTC. Has the government at all responded or given any clarification, justification for this hike, Deepak? Okay, we seem to be having some technical difficulty there. We'll go back to Deepak, but also let's take a look at the hikes which have happened in the state of Karnataka. Viewers, it will give us a background into the so-called quote-unquote price pain which is continuing for the people of Karnataka. Okay, before that, Deepak is back with us. Deepak, politics has already begun over this hike. Can you help us understand exactly what does a fare or a hike in the fare of contract carriages mean for the Aam Aadmi, and also has there been any justification, any clarification for this hike which has been given by the transport body yet?
Well, the increase here in the contract carriages cost will definitely affect the a common man one way or the other. Now, if anybody, of course, for the purpose of a wedding decides to, hire the KSRTC buses they would have to, of course, shell out a little more than they were earlier, because the price increase is at least about 6 to 7 rupees per kilometer. And if they do it, say for about 100 kilometers, that's a lot of money that they're, of course, going to shell out. Now, apart from that, there is also, various organizations as well that use these facilities. There's also people who use it for the sake of pilgrimages when they travel together in large groups. So it's a huge number of people who avail these services. The KSRTC, of course, maintains that because there has been a bus fare hike, this is something that was on the cards, and they've done it because there is inflation, there is increased cost of maintenance, there is, of course, salaries that need to be paid to its employees. There's also the increased price of fuel and so on. So while they continue to, say that there is a necessity and that's why they have actually done it, but it's the common man at the end of the day that shells out a little more from his pocket.
Politics over the same has already begun, as one would expect, Deepak. Viewers, let's also take a look at the hikes which have been announced in the past by the Karnataka government, which will give us a holistic idea of why this is so significant, why it's a political flashpoint between the BJP and Congress in the state of Karnataka.
The Bharatiya Janata Party has been criticizing what they call the khatakhut price hike model. Let's take you through the details. On the 2nd of January, this year itself, the new year began with a 15% hike in bus fares for the people of Karnataka. Now let's go back and let's tell you about what happened in the month of June in the year 2023. The electricity tariffs were increased by 2 rupees 89 paise per unit. Let's tell you about some more hikes that happened over the last few months and years. In July 2023, 20% hike was seen in excise duty. Let's show you some more price hike percentage points. When it comes to transport cess, basically the hike on commercial vehicles, we saw 3% hike, and this happened during the 2023-2024 budget. Petrol and diesel prices were also hiked in 2024. That was in the month of June. Then let's tell you about what else happened. There was a hike in Nandini milk prices as well. It was raised by 2 rupees on the 26th of June in 2024. The stamp duty was hiked by 200 to 500% in December 2023. It was applicable for 25 types of documents. Now, we also saw a rise in government hospital fees. There was a hike at all BMCRI run hospitals. Basically, we saw the hike in prices of OPD registration for blood tests, for scans, and this also took place on the 1st of November in 2024. So multiple hikes over the last few months itself. This is what has been happening in the state of Karnataka. And what has the criticism is that this is because the state has promised freebies, they're unable to fund it, and so these hikes are being done to again put the burden on the common man.
And this latest price hike has led to, quote-unquote, another khatakhut political face-off. We have a reaction coming in from the BJP. Let's listen in.
कर्नाटका में कांग्रेस का खटाखट मॉडल फिर से सामने दिखाई दे रहा है। बस फेयर का किराया 15% से बढ़ाने के बाद अब जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कैरेज फेयर है या कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पर जो बस देती है KSRTC, उसके भी दाम बढ़ाए गए हैं। 47 to 54 रुपीस कर दिया गया है प्रति किलोमीटर स्टेट के भीतर, और 50 to 57 रुपीस कर दिया गया है स्टेट के बाहर। मतलब कि 7 रुपया प्रति किलोमीटर बढ़ाया गया है। दूध के दाम, पानी के दाम, बिजली के दाम, पेट्रोल, स्टैम्प ड्यूटी, सबके दाम बढ़ा दिए, क्योंकि कर्नाटका कांग्रेस ने कर्नाटका की तिजोरी खाली कर दी है। झूठ और लूट में, झूठे गारंटी जिसके लिए पैसा नहीं बचा, उनके ही विधायक बोलते हैं कि इन गारंटी स्कीम्स की वजह से डेवलपमेंट का काम नहीं हो पा रहा है। फिर हमने देखा है लूट कैसे मची है, वाल्मीकि स्कैम, मूडा स्कैम, लिक्कर स्कैम, BDA स्कैम। अब कर्नाटका की ट्रेजरी खाली है तो कर्नाटका के लोगों को लूटो।
All right, so political war of words over the price hike in Karnataka is continuing. We'll keep an eye on this big story through the